Hi guys, this is PurpleDrake. I'm here today to bring you a guide on a Mech Shaman deck me and Firebat recently kind of popularized. We're gonna go through each of the cards kind of slowly and just to overlap on the core concept of the deck is that we have all the core of a Mech Mage. However, we're playing Shaman. We're gonna utilize some different cards that obviously Mage doesn't have and that Shaman does. So we're gonna use the core of a Shaman deck using the core of the Mech Mage deck with the Cog Masters, the Mech Warpers, Tinkertown Technicians, Spider Tanks, as well as our Shaman counterparts with the Whirlwind Zap-O-Matic, Mechanical Yetis, Shredders, Tinkertown Technicians. We're also going to be utilizing the Shaman weapons, the Power Mace, and one Doomhammer. Similar to a Mech Mage, we're going to use some form of burn in terms of crackles and a lava burst, resembling something in the lines of what Frostbolt and Fireball is to a Mech Mage. Similar to Mech Mage, we're also going to have PurpleDrake's as a tempo card, and so that we don't run out of steam. Blast Mage is kind of representative as a fire elemental, although a bit later, it has a very similar impact on the game. And we do want late game finishers, mainly Dr. Boom, to help close out games. We do not play Hex or Lightning Storm in this deck because both those cards are losses of tempo. What we want is just a very minion-centric core, and Black Knight is in the deck just to help combat Ramp Druids to get through Ancient of Wars, because it's really the only way of getting through those. Here we just have a couple of cards missing, and it's the ever-important Flame Tongue combined with the roll and Zap-O-Matic. Ever so often you just get to kill your opponent on turn 4. So again, wrap up the deck. We're effectively just trying to be have the same core of a Mech Mage, yet we're going to utilize different cards, especially the weapons, to be able to maintain tempo, and yeah. All right, so we got ourselves a mage, probably a Mech Mage, and we have a fabulous hand. We're gonna go ahead and keep the Mech Corper and the Zap-O-Matic and the Spider Tank. We're gonna throw away the Tinkertown. We're gonna be a bit greedy. We're looking for a Rock Biter with this hand, an Annoyotron, or a Power Mace. Even a Crackle wouldn't be so bad. Whoever ends up on having the board in the first 2 turns usually wins, so we're gonna go ahead and coin a Mech Corper. Worst comes to worst, he Frostbolts it. We can't play the Spider Tank, but we can play Zap-O-Matic. So no matter what happens here, we have a good curve. So he has his own Mech Corper. So we're gonna go ahead and develop the Spider Tank. He can play his own Spider Tank. That's fine. We're just gonna go hit him in the face. If he allows our Mech Corper to live another turn, we're gonna go Spider Tank Zap-O-Matic next turn. We're just gonna put as much pressure on the board each turn as possible. Oh, Power Base. Is that better? If we Power Mace, we gotta hit our Spider Tank into the Chugga Chugga, because we won't be able to use the weapon again next turn. However, I think it's a fine play. The Blast Mage is good, but it's always good, and it's not that good. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and Power Mace the Mech Warper down, run our Spider Tank into the Freeze guy, and we're gonna go face again with the Mech Warper. The card we absolutely don't want to see here is Blast Mage. Blast Mage is always good on curve against our deck. Shredder is not a big deal. So he makes that attack for us. That's interesting. So we're gonna go ahead and play Yeti and Zap-O-Matic to add up the 4. Actually, we're gonna use our weapon first, just so that there's a chance that we buff the Mech Warper, and we're gonna use it on the Shredder, just because it has 3 health, so it's a more efficient attack than hitting the Harvest Golem. Oh, and we're just gonna take the favorable trade and play a Zap-O-Matic and a Yeti. Zap-O-Matic dies kind of for free to the Harvest Golem, but who cares? We have the board. That's what really matters in this matchup. If he has Blast Mage, it can catch him up, but But if he doesn't have it, he's gonna have to spend some mana just like pinging our Mech Warper this turn. So he's just gonna play a Mirror Entity here. So we're actually gonna go ahead and play the Spider Tank here. And make a totem first, actually. We're gonna see what we get off the totem. We're not gonna crackle anything. We're just gonna... Oh, Healing Totem's really good for us. We're just gonna play the Spider Tank and take the favorable trade with the Mechanical Yeti into the Spider Tank. And because we got a Healing Totem, we can just ignore his Broken Harvest Golem. He didn't have Blast Mage the last few turns, so I think it's a fair assumption that he doesn't have it. So yeah, we're just gonna go face. We get the Healing Totem. He has to spend mana on ping. He is losing tempo. We have the board. We're ahead. So he has another secret and a Frostbolt on the Mechanical Yeti, and that's fine. We have Taunt plus Black Knight, which is a really good combo actually. So here, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna start by rolling a totem. See what we get. We're just going to go ahead and take the favorable trades, the 3-4 into the 2-1, and then the Cogmaster goes to 1 attack. And because we got Taunt Totem, we can just give him a Town Technician. It's not that big of a threat. We got Time Rewinder, that doesn't do anything right now, so we'll just end turn here. So turn 7's one of the power turns for both Mage and Mech Shaman. It's well, pretty much every deck in Hearthstone has Dr. Boom on 7. And this guy's a Blingtron. And we have... Well, we have Max. This is good for us. So he's going to go ahead and take a favorable trade. Do we really want to Black Knight anything here? It's not bad, but it's not great. Alternatively, we could Crackle or Lava Burst the 3/4 finish something off for our weapon. We do have 10, 15 plus Crackle, so we are getting close to lethal here. We're just not quite there yet. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make the strongest play this turn. We're actually gonna Black Knight the Blingtron. We're gonna use the Rusty Horn on the Blingtron, Black Knight it. We're gonna use our face on the 4-1. And we are still going to make the favorable trade with the 4-4 into the freeze guy so that we can use our weapon. So next turn we have 7 on board, plus 3 from our weapon is 10, plus Crackle is 15, and Lava Burst is 15, plus the Crackle. If could potentially add up to lethal, and he's fireballing the Black Knight. We're completely fine with that, and that's not lethal. However, what we can do here is we're just going to go ahead and Time Rewinder the Tinkertown Technician, just because it's just a nice value play because it was at 1 health, and play it again, see what we get. Emergency Coolant might be useful later. We're just going to play the Cogmaster, put more power in play, and use our weapon on his face because we are so close to lethal. At this point, there's not much of anything that actually catches him up. He needs like an Annoyatron to survive, and yep. Alright, so we got ourselves a Druid this time, and off the mull we have a 2-3-4 curve, and we're going to go ahead and snap keep this hand. It's not the best, however, it's a 2-3-4 curve, and Annoyatron's a great card against Druid. It really gets in the way of them killing our early minions. Just considering rockbitering our opponent on turn 1 just to send a strong message that we are the Dennis Shaman. So here we have an Innervate Shade from our opponent, one of the strongest and most broken openings from a Druid. And we're just going to go ahead and play Annoyatron. This is one of the reasons Annoyatron is probably the best 2-drop. It's safe from Wrath, and Mech Warper just dies for free to the Shade if they do have the Innervate Shade. So I doubt he's going to reveal it. If he does, we'll go ahead and Rockbiter it. He does reveal it. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and Rockbiter it and develop a Cogmaster. We'll just set up for a turn 4 Shredder. So he does still have the coins. So if he has Coin Keeper of the Grove, it's bad news for us. However, the Shredder will trade effectively into the 2-4 body. Our 1-drop's going to trade into his 3-drop, and MC Tech is actually one of the better cards against this deck, just because we're very board centric, and we tend to have 4 minions at later stages in the game, especially if we do draw a Dr. Boom this game. So he's on 4 mana. He does still have the coin, so he can play a Druid the Claw here, his own Shredder, or he can innervate something stupid out. And it is Ancient Allure. That's not a big problem for us. The Fire Elemental should help clean up after this turn. Actually, we're just going to go ahead and play the Tinkertown, and then we're just going to Flame Tongue and kill it now. The Rolling Blades is worth considering, but I would rather just develop the Flame Tongue. It puts a huge threat on the board, and it just gets immediate value. And we get a Succubus. That's second to just Millhouse Mana Storm is the second best 2-drop in the game. So this time, so now Druid's down an Innervate on the coin, so he should only have 5 mana. His best play could be something along the lines of charging the Druid the Claw at the Taunt Totem, or at the Flame Tongue Totem. But he just has a swipe, that's fine with us. The Fire Elemental just makes us really vulnerable to big game hunters, so we're just going to go ahead and play the Spider Tank and Totem up. We already saw that our opponent's MC Tech this game. It's pretty doubtful. We're going to see another one. We're going to roll the Totem first here, and we're going to place the Spider Tank to the right because we'd rather get the Searing Totem in combat, just because it's 3 damage for our hero power, so it's just added value. The second swipe here is really good for our opponent, however, hopefully he doesn't have it. So our opponent has a Keeper. We're absolutely fine with that. If he wants to hero power the Searing Totem, he takes an additional 2 damage because of the placement next to the Flame Tongue Totem. So he rafts the Flame Tongue, so we're going to go ahead and Fire Elemental the Keeper and trade in the Searing Totem and hit him in the face with the Spider Tank. The Power Mace is a good draw as a follow-up to this turn. However, we just want to get the 6/5 body of the Fire Elemental out just because Druid has a hassle dealing with Fire Elemental. It's got to be something like Wrath for 3 plus Keeper, or Swipe and Face Tank it. Either way, the Druid takes a lot of damage from it. So he just has a Shredder here. It's a fairly weak turn. He's floating 3 mana, so we can probably be pretty confident that he does have some pieces of Force Nature Savage Roar combo. We picked up the Drake, so we're just going to go ahead and play the Drake, see what we get. And certainly we are just going to Power Mace the Shredder down. Well, that just saved him 7 health, but I guess we have to kill it, so that's a little bit unfortunate for us. We really wanted that 9 damage to go to the face, not 7. So next turn we have a Zap-O-Matic, a Rockbiter, so we can push through a Druid of the Claw fairly easily. And we're just going to try to close out the game before we die to Force Nature Savage Roar. We're at the stage of the game where we have to be fairly aggressive because our hand's depleted, so we're in a state of we're effectively all in at this point. Which is a common position you'll find yourself playing this deck, and it's just about identifying at which points you need to go all in. And this is about the time where we are going to do it. So we have a Wrath and a Keeper on to kill off the Fire Elemental. Oh, another Fire Elemental. That's convenient. We're actually going to go ahead and trade in the Drake into the 2/4, smack him in the face with our weapon, and then play both our minions and use the whirling blades on the Spider Tank just so it's a 6/6. So again, we're trying to be as aggressive as possible. We're just killing off the Keeper just so it doesn't have a free trade on the Zap-O-Matic, because the Zap-O-Matic actually pushes as much damage as the Fire Elemental does as a 2-drop, which is crazy. He's down both Keepers, both Rafts, I believe, so he's gonna have a heck of a time dealing with this board. All Oh, he's gonna have to use Force Nature and Savage Roar to clear most of it, and then that still only kills three of our guys, and he takes six to the face. I don't think there's anything that the druid can do to survive. He gives us the well played. Yeah. Okay, so here we have a paladin, and our hand's already looking really good. What we're looking for is a really aggressive start with our early drops and power mace just to keep up the tempo. Double power mace is a bit excessive, so we're just gonna pitch one, and we're gonna keep the Zapomatic and the Mech Warper. We are looking for at this point a spider tank, uh, just to fill out the curve. If we do coin out the Mech Warper, Paladin can't actually deal with this. So actually here what we're gonna do is we're actually not gonna coin anything out. If we coin the Mech Warper, we play Zapomatic on two, and we're infinitely behind if he just has shielded mini bot. So we're just gonna end turn here and kind of slow play our hand a tiny bit. So he just makes dude, which is fine with us. And we're just gonna play the Mech Warper, and we're gonna still save the coin. We're not gonna play the Zap-O-Matic. If the Paladin had muster for battle, he'd be able to trade in his dude and use one charge of his face on the and kill the Zap-O-Matic. So here we just have an Aldor, which is absolutely fine. We're gonna equip up the power mace. We're gonna kill the Aldor, and we're gonna run our guy into the 1/3. And at this point, it's complete. It's his turn four. Our Zapomatic's gonna be safe from muster for battle. If he wants to use a Truth Silver charge, at least he's not killing the Mech Warper. So we're just gonna go ahead and coin that guy out. He does have a Consecrate here, but it's not a great Consecrate. So there's the Consecrate. We'll see what we top deck, but if we don't draw it, so we're just gonna go with the Yeti here to fill out our 4-mana curve. There's Paladin can't deal 5 damage to a minion, so there's no point swinging with the weapon. Just because True Silver does 4, so and the weapon can help us push through a Belcher next turn or something in the lines. So yeah, we're just gonna end turn here. So his turn 5 should be either like a Low-Feb, a Belcher, maybe another Peacekeeper. Oh, just a Shredder. So we're gonna go ahead and use our face on that and see what pops out of it to start the turn. And then we're probably just gonna play our minions. If it's a Doomsayer, we might have to end up killing that. So, all right. So it's a scrub. So we're just gonna go ahead and smack him in the face for 6 here. Play our Anoyatron and our Spider Tank. We have the Fire Elemental to help finish off the Defias Ringleader next turn. So it's just we are an aggressive deck. We don't want to miss out on that 6 points of damage to the face. So he has an Owl for the Yeti. That's not a big deal. It's still a Yeti. It's not quite Boulder Fist Ogre anymore, but that's okay. This is just shaping up like our Fire Elemental on curve. And we're gonna go ahead and kill either one. It doesn't really matter. There tends not to be pandas in Paladin. So we're just gonna probably just, yeah, I'd say kill the Owl just in case he does have panda. So the cleanest target for him to kill with the True Silver is the Spider Tank with 4 health. So we're just gonna go ahead and bump the 2/1 with that to clear his board and hit him in the face for 4. And we have an empty board for our Dr. Boom next turn. We have 10, 9, 13 on board, and it's not quite dead. Crackle's not quite Power Blast, but it's still pretty good. Alright, so we didn't draw lethal, so let's just Dr. Boom, and we are gonna dome him for 10. Paladin can't do any more than 6 damage of burst, really, on 8 mana. Being a Consecrated and a True Silver, there's almost no burst, and that is Sylvanas and an Equality. Wow, that is a desperate play. It might work out for him. We'll see how this goes. But if we have anything left over at the end of the turn, the Crackle has a good chance of being lethal. And is he gonna run his Dr. Boom into that Boombot to try to steal something? Yeah. Yep. And there he goes, and he killed himself.